Of course, you'll see some crazy comments like, I just watched 3 videos and I improved by 20 points. Thank you, Josh. Please keep commenting like that because it makes me look very good, but it's not very realistic for most. All right, let's talk about how to pass the TOEFL IBT test in 2024. Now, no matter what type of test taker you are, if you're new to the test, if you've taken the test once and you know a little bit about it, or you've taken the test a few times and you know quite a bit about it, there will be something here for you. The goal of this is for you to know exactly where you are right now and what you need to do to improve, no matter how much money you have, how much time you have, or how much experience you have with the test. So exciting. So let's talk about this. I'm excited actually because this is the first time I'm doing this lesson. So there's 5 steps here, and I'm going to go through each one to explain it in a bit more detail so you understand what I mean. Okay, let's start simple. Identify your profile. Your profile, I'm going to say that there's 4 different types of test takers. So you either have less than a month to prepare and your English skill building is not required. So then also, let me just add this one too. You have more than 1 month to prepare and you don't have to do any English skill building. So what do I mean by this? What I mean is that you're at a pretty good level of English for you to get the score you want. You don't have to improve your English skills very much. You have to improve your test taking skills. You have to learn the tips and tricks for TOEFL. You have to take some practice tests. You got to learn how to speak for 45 and 60 seconds. You got to learn how to write the essays. So that's preparing for the test itself. This is the strongest position to be in, either less than a month or more than a month, because you don't have to improve your English skills. Improving your English skills takes time. Now, if you're not sure if you need to improve your English skills, I'm going to explain that more, so stick around. I'll explain how you can figure that out. But so this is a good position to be in. At TST Prep, I'm gonna shout out a couple of products, but I'm also gonna show you how to do things for free. So this won't, just be, oh, just buy my course. And I'll show you how to do things for free as well. But I think the Emergency Course Premium is a great fit for people who just need to know the most important tips and tricks and strategies and just need a bunch of practice and also want to do that in the fastest and easiest way. This comes with a study plan for 2 days, 1 week, 2 weeks, and 1 month, depending on the amount of time you have, so you know exactly what to do every day. I'm going to show you how to do this for free as well, but I think that this is the best thing for people who just want to be told what to do, so you can just plug in, practice, prepare, and be ready on test day. You know exactly what you need to do. And I'll put a link in the description below to this. So besides those 2 types of students, another type of student is less than a month to prepare and English skill building is required. Or you have more than a month to prepare and English skill building is required. Let me talk about number 3 for a minute. If you have less than a month to prepare and you need to improve your English, you're in trouble. So this is not realistic. You can improve your English a little bit to some degree, but if you expect to be like a basic level English speaker and want to get an advanced level, you have a TOEFL score of 60 and you want to get 100, it's not going to happen in 30 days. You need to be a bit realistic. Number 4, if you have more than a month to prepare and English skill building is required, then I would recommend, of course, the TOEFL Score Builder course from TST Prep. This gives you not just the TOEFL, tips and tricks, but also gives you activities to do every day that are designed to help you improve your speaking, improve your writing, improve your reading, and improve your listening. So if you're in that boat and you have some time, the Score Builder is a good fit. But again, I'm going to show you resources that you can use if you're in this position as well. But those are the 4 different types of students, so I want you to think about which one you are, and I don't want to look at my face twice. That's a little weird. Let me look at my face once. There we go. This is, I don't know if this is less weird, but anyway, think about which type of student you are. Let me go back for a second. Which one do you think you are? How much time do you have? Do you have to improve your English? Now, maybe you're not sure. So if you're not sure, the next step is to take a practice test. Again, my face is twice. Let's do my face once. So, you should take a practice test. Now you can do a free test on YouTube, or you can do a test from ETS, the company that makes the TOEFL. I'm going to put a link in the description of a place where you can take a free practice test from them too. But you want to see, if you haven't taken a test yet, you really want to see, first of all, what the test is like, how difficult it is, and where you're at right now. What score did you get, and how far away are you from your score? Now that's going to be important for this next step, which is to set realistic expectations. What do I mean? I'm going to go through this handy chart. Well, actually, before I go through, let me make my big head smaller. There, now I'm a small head. Okay, so how long will I have to study to achieve my desired score? So this is a question I get a lot. How long do I have to study to get an 80? I got a 60, I want to get an 80. How long do I have to study? So, the question is hard to answer because I don't, know you, and you just send me an email. So I don't know a lot about you. So it's very hard, excuse me, it's very hard for me to do that, to give you a very clear idea of how long you have to prepare. But I'm going to try to do it with this chart here. So this is an estimate. This is not set in stone. This is not science. This is just an estimation based on my experience. So there's going to be two types of students in this situation. Now this is just a very simple version, but you either know nothing about the test and you just started learning. This is like one of the first videos you're watching about the TOEFL. Or you know the tips and tricks, or you've taken classes, you've taken a course, you've done TOEFL stuff already. If you know nothing about the test, you can improve the fastest because the tips and tricks and strategies can really help you in 30 days or less, or even in like 30 or 60 days. You can increase your score by up to 10 points if you know nothing about the test within about 60 days, I would say. Maybe 30 if you're lucky. Because you'll learn like the ways of answering that the TOEFL likes. You'll learn about the question types. These things are a bit weird, and so you can, if you don't know about the test, you take the test and you got a 70, and then you say, okay, I'm going to do the TOEFL emergency course, and you do that 30 days later, you could probably improve your score by 5, maybe even 10 points. Of course, you'll see some crazy comments like, I just watched 3 videos and I improved by 20 points. Thank you, Josh. Please keep commenting like that because it makes me look very good, but it's not very realistic for most of you. Most of you will not have a 20-point score jump for quite a while. Okay, so keep that in mind. If you know nothing about the test and you need to improve by 15 or more, you need English skill building. And so English skill building takes time. My claim is that if you need to improve by 15 points, you need to improve your general English, not just TOEFL strategy. If you know the tips and tricks already and you need to improve by 5 points, then it's harder. It's going to take a bit more time. 1 to 3 months at least for 5 points, because you're going to have to work on building skills. 10 points is probably at least 3 months, and 15 points or more is 6 months probably, maybe even a year. It'll take time, because it takes time to build your English skills. So this is a pretty good, grounded estimation of how long it'll take you to improve based on your score, based on if you know about the test, or you know a lot about the test already, and how much you need to improve. So this is, again, not exactly, somebody I'm sure will say in the comments, I improved by only 1 point after this. It's not an exact thing. This is a basic general outline for you to have a clear expectation, a realistic expectation of how much you can improve in how much time. The next thing I want you to do is collect your resources. Now I'm going to talk about your financial resources, your time, and also online sites that you can use that are both free and paid for. So resources. Let me talk about resources a bit, because it's going to be pretty helpful to know this. Now, if you're committed, I'm not going to spend any money. This test is $250. It's already too much money. I'm not going to spend any money on preparation materials. Great. You're like most of the people that watch these videos. So The YouTube, of course, where you're probably watching this now. Third-party websites, some are great, some are terrible. They're kind of hit or miss. Reddit, Facebook groups, you can find a lot of resources on these sites. Just, ask people, make sure that what you're using is a decent quality. And there's benefits to this, is that first of all, it's free, but of course you have a greater sense of accomplishment. You did everything on your own. That's a really hard thing to do. To study for this test and prepare on your own is incredibly hard. And if you can do that on your own, you should be very proud of yourself. And if you have, you should be proud of yourself no matter what. If you took courses, if you take, classes, you should always be proud of yourself. But that's one benefit of this, at least. It won't save you time. It'll take longer, but it's ideal if it's your first time taking the test or you cannot afford a course. I think it's good to do a course if you can afford it, because it'll just tell you everything you need so you don't have to take the test again. You don't want to fail the test for a silly reason. To give you an example, like a lot of people are surprised that the reading is so short and they go to take the test and they're not used to reading so fast. And that could have been something that would have been easily avoided if you just watched a couple videos or took a course. But yeah, so definitely can do free. If you've taken the test before and you have less than 3 months to prepare, this is a good budget, I think. You can do a course, you can get a course for like $20, pretty cheap somewhere. You can do group classes. We do 2 group classes at TST Prep for $200, I think. And you can get a personalized evaluation. So either through AI or through a teacher, you can get feedback on your speaking and writing if you pay a little bit of money. And that could be really helpful. So like just spending a little bit of money could be really, really helpful, not just at TST Prep, but anywhere, because it'll help you know your specific strengths and weaknesses, especially for speaking and writing. That'll be really, really helpful for a lot of you. And you'll save time, energy, and you'll have a clear direction. You'll know exactly what you need to do. You won't have to be jumping around through Reddit and Facebook groups and so on. But, if it's your first time taking it, you might want to avoid spending any money. So it's up to you. Then if you have more than $200, then you can start getting into private lessons. And when you get into private lessons, that's good for people that have taken the test twice, or you need to improve your general English skills. So if you keep struggling with the test, or if you need to improve your general English, it's good to have support from a teacher. They can give you a study plan. They can customize everything for you so it's very catered to just your needs. And, it saves you time, energy, you have a clear direction, you know what you're doing, and you have personalized support. So those are the resources that different students have, and what I recommend based on your situation. Now let me talk about some of the websites. Of course, there's TST Prep, there's classes, there's teachers, there's tests, and there's courses. But what else is there besides this amazing site? There's the TOEFL Go app, which is ETS's official site. I highly recommend this site. This should be one of the first ones you use. It just came out recently in 2023. So not so recently, but a little while ago. And it has free practice. And it also has free speaking and writing feedback. It'll give you a score for your speaking and writing. So definitely check out the TOEFL Go app. Link in the description. I'll put a link in the description to all of these sites. All right, what else do we got? Scientific American. So this site is not a TOEFL site. This is a site that's good for academic listening practice. I think it has an excellent library. They have some of these 60-second science, so it's like a good 1-minute little audio to listen to, and then you can see the transcript as well. It's a good way to get some extra exposure to academic listening. TED Ed, I think everyone knows about TED, but go to the TED Ed site. You can filter the videos to make them shorter, 5 minutes, about the amount of time a TOEFL listening passage is. And then you can also see transcripts. They ask you questions about the videos. It's really a great way to practice outside of TOEFL. But I do have some more TOEFL sites for you. My Speaking Score. This site uses SpeechRater. That is the same technology that grades your speaking on test day. So if you want to know your weaknesses for speaking, this is an incredible site. Highly recommend. It's not free, but you can just pay a couple dollars and you can get a good evaluation. So it's not the, it has good and bad points of practicing with this site. I think it is a good way to practice, but anyway, yeah, so use the site definitely to get an evaluation to see where you're at right now. And it'll tell you for each score dimension, your strengths and weaknesses. Here, everything is green. I'm still getting a 24 though, so I'm a little upset about that. But anyway, so you can look at this and you can see what you need to work on. It looks like I need to work on my distribution of pauses. And so anyway, you can learn more about this stuff at my speaking score. If you want to practice more, ELSA Speech Analyzer is a great site for speaking practice. It's not TOEFL, it's not SpeechRadar, so it's not the same. They give you a TOEFL score estimate that I find to be pretty close and pretty good, but it's not the same technology, but it gives you great feedback on your intonation, fluency, grammar, vocabulary. Really great site, and it's pretty affordable. It's like $20 or $30 a month and gives you unlimited feedback on your speaking. It's really an incredible tool. So ELSA Speech Analyzer, I really like this site. Another site that I skipped the page, there we go, Grammarly. So Grammarly, you probably know for writing online. It checks your vocabulary, it checks your spelling and your grammar, but you can get a paid version. I don't recommend the paid version anymore because you can just use ChatGPT for free now. But if you're working with a teacher, this can be very helpful because it gives you a lot of feedback on your writing. And you can, go over it with a teacher. They can give you some pointers. They can help explain some of this stuff. So if you do get the paid version of Grammarly, it does have quite a bit of information. It's not designed for the TOEFL, but it does help. But I would also recommend ChatGPT. There's a free version. You can put in this prompt. I'm an English language learner. Please act like an English teacher. I would like to improve my English writing skills. I'm going to submit a sample of my writing. Please provide feedback on my spelling, grammar, and word choice. Please make a list of the changes you have made. And it'll do that. You'll copy and paste your writing after this here, and it'll give you feedback on your vocabulary and grammar. This is a great way to learn how to write better and how to improve your vocabulary and grammar. You get a lot of feedback. Another honorable mention is also from ETS. It's actually kind of a hard website to find. I'll put a link in the description. They have a bunch of samples of writing for an academic discussion question. This is the new writing question. They have a bunch of samples, I think like 30 or something like that. And you can write and answer one and it'll give you a score. And this is the same score that you would probably get on test day. One thing to keep in mind though is that it doesn't check your content. You can see here I wrote something about globalization, but the question is about leadership. So that's why on TOEFL test day, your speaking and writing is graded by AI and other technology and by a human, because the human focuses on the content part. But anyway, check out the link. I'll put it down below. Natural Readers is a great way to add audio to any text. This is good for speaking practice if you want to practice shadowing, or if you want to practice your listening skills, you can put in some text that you're interested in and you can practice with different accents. You can challenge yourself and increase the speed. You can practice and decrease the speed. There's really so many things you can do with Natural Readers. Highly recommend this site. It's very helpful. So I've talked about how to get your dream score. I got one more thing to talk about here, and that is to practice smart. Now, what do I mean by practice smart? This is practice in a way that helps you improve. This is not really for people who, you just have 30 days and you don't need to improve your English. These are for people who need to improve their score and it takes a bit of time. You want to make sure you follow these 3 steps every day. You identify a goal. I'm going to show you some goals in a minute. Your goal for today. Practice with that goal in mind. This is your goal. You're going to practice with it. And review what you've learned. Okay, now what do I mean? Okay, let me explain. Another link in the description. There's going to be tons of links in the description. This is to the goals guide from TST Prep. I'll show you what it is. I'll show you in a minute. But basically, it'll give you different example goals you can have for each section and some activities you can do to help you achieve those goals. So for example, for speaking here, there's usually one of these 5 weaknesses: structure, vocabulary, grammar, speech, music, pronunciation. And there will be activities. This is just one example of each. There'll be multiple activities for each that will be goals for you to set to try to achieve, to try to get better at grammar, to try to get better at vocabulary. For example, for grammar, write one sentence with a grammatical form you find difficult, like a conditional sentence. So you try to include a conditional sentence in your response. Or for listening, a lot of weaknesses are comprehension, that means understanding, vocabulary, topic knowledge. Do you know about astronomy or American history? Question strategy, maybe you don't know how to answer inference questions, or you don't know how to answer just purpose questions. So these are all different question types on listening. Wonderful world of TOEFL, these weird question types. Anyway, so it gives you a goal for each of them. So you want to think about these goals and add one of these goals, have one of these goals when you practice and you're trying to improve. So you want to make sure that you practice smart. You don't want to waste your time just like taking a practice test every day. It's not as helpful as you think it is. You really want to, if you need to improve your score, you need to build your skills. I talk about that in other lectures, but so this is just a kind of general overview. But that's how to get your dream score. That's how to pass the TOEFL in 2024. I hope you found something here helpful. It's kind of fun for me, actually, because I got to bring a lot of information together, and I think that it's really helpful. Here, I will put a link to another video that I think is helpful. Thanks for watching, everybody. Subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you next time. All right, take care.